I gotta say, colon cancer does not have a very good flavor. My name is Tanner. When I was 25, I started getting sick. And at first I was like, I'm just tired, because like full-time work, full-time student, So I was like, that makes sense. And we had moved into a new house and we were remodeling it. So I was like, yeah, like that makes sense. And then I started to see blood in my poop and I was like, I'm not a doctor, but that's probably not good. And so I went, saw a doctor and my doctor's like, man, that isn't good. And he's like, but I think you probably have like Crohn's or something like that. He's like, let me give you some meds. And I was like, okay. So he gave me those meds and all the symptoms disappeared. And I was like, awesome, super awesome. And about 6 months after that, I was in Arizona with my wife's family for Thanksgiving. And for the whole day, like every 20 minutes, I was going to the bathroom. And I was like, wow. And there was a lot of blood. And my wife, some of her family, they're doctors. And they're like, you should go to the ER. And I went to the ER, and they ran some tests, and they're like, yeah, we're not really sure what this is, but this isn't normal. You should get a colonoscopy when you go home. I was like, okay. So I went, got my colonoscopy, which was awesome. Oh, yeah. But I just remember went to sleep, and then I woke up, and I was making all sorts of accusations at the doctor. I was like, Shay, this guy just had a bunch of stuff in my butt, and he was recording it. He was talking to me. My wife's like, we paid him to do that. And I was like, we paid him to do that? And then as soon as the painkiller started to wear off, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember why we're here. The doctor came in, and I could tell something was wrong, because the first thing he did is he sat down, and he was like, what do you want? What do you want me to call you? And I was like, you can call me Tanner. And he's like, listen, got some bad news. I couldn't even complete your colonoscopy. About 10 centimeters inside your colon, you have a tumor that, he's like, I'm almost surprised that you can still go to the bathroom because it's almost totally closed off. And he's like, I biopsied it, I marked it so surgeons can know where it is. And he's like, but I haven't tested it, but he's like, but it's for sure cancerous. And he's like, listen, I have a friend who just graduated from oncology school who studied with the colon cancer specialist like in the world, like one of the top ones. He's like, I set you up an appointment for tomorrow morning. And it wasn't real then, because I remember when he said that, my wife started to cry, and I started to laugh for some reason. And he was like, no, this isn't a joke, like, this is real. And that has been, it's been almost 2 years since that day. 2 years, 24 rounds of chemotherapy, 4 pretty major surgeries, and then I still have a couple surgeries upcoming this summer. But it was it was unreal. I remember probably 3 days after I was diagnosed, I had just gotten off with my grandma who had lost her husband about 2 years before that to cancer. And she was devastated. And I remember that's when I started to feel it. And then I saw my doctor right after I talked with my grandma, and I was like, man, she's really sad, but I should be fine. Because the doctor's like, you're really young. He's like, you're 25. He's like, it's not very common to find colon cancer, so you should be good. We should just do a couple rounds of chemo, maybe a surgery. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, listen, I saw all these other medical things that you were dealing with. And he's like, unfortunately, that is all from cancer. And he's like, it's stage 4. It's spread to your liver, to the lymph nodes around your kidney, to the lymph nodes around your heart. He's like, it's everywhere. And I wasn't scared until he said, he's like, listen, I'm going to do everything I can for you. And when I go home, I'm going to pray for you. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. This guy said he's going to pray for me. And chemo is one of the most difficult things I've ever done. I had a lot of reactions to chemo. I had an allergic reaction to this medicine. I got about 500 sores all over my whole body. Every time I sat down, they would all pop and they would stick to my clothes. So I spent a lot of that time pretty much naked. It's a good time to be alive. I also had another side effect. My oncologist kind of went over some of the side effects. He's like, yeah, some of these are pretty rare. Some of my cancer cells remembered that they used to do something for me, that they weren't building something. Like, I think we need to build a tunnel. So they connected my colon to my bladder. And so I had a lot of things that were supposed to come out one way, come out the other way. And I was like, wow. And I remember telling my doctor, I was like, yeah, chemo. And he was like, actually, that's not normal. He's like, we need to get some more scans in. And during all of this, I had my sweet, beautiful wife, Shay, back there, standing by the whole time. She's wonderful. Could not have done this without her. When I was in the hospital recovering for surgeries or recovering from chemo, my wife picked up 2 extra jobs. She worked 3 jobs. She's in a master's program. And I do not know what I would have done if I did not have her. So I just want to say, Shay, I love you. You're awesome. And then just one other thing. A lot of cancer, it's pretty easy to treat if you catch it early on. And I know a lot of people are scared, to get their colon checked. So like, man, that's crazy. Let me tell you, I have had so much stuff put up my butt since I got cancer that a colonoscopy is nothing. There's been a couple times where I've been like, listen, Dr. Martin, I think I need to charge you for this visit. I don't think you should charge me. So make sure, go in and get it checked. I am beyond grateful for this organization and what they were able to do for me and my wife when it felt like we couldn't do anything else. I just want to thank the Brown family for all that they have done for us. I will never be able to pay back the relief that you were able to give me, and especially my wife, and when I couldn't do anything. So we love you guys, and we thank you for everything you've done. Thank you.